Hey, sadness, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to continue with my Radiohead album review series, and today I'm going to be reviewing Hail to the Thief in the year 2003. So, Radiohead, quite possibly my favorite band ever, Hail to the Thief. They have been in the game for quite some time now. Starting off in 1993, a decade before the release of Hail to the Thief, we have Pablo Honey, which is by no means a bad album, but just in comparison with the rest of the Radiohead albums, it's just not that great, but still it has some sweet, nice alt-rock tunes, nothing all that harmful. Their next album, The Bends, in 1995, is a more upgraded and advanced version of their previous alt-rock effort, and it has so much just great songwriting, great production, the chilling, dark ending of Street Spirits Fade Out. The track Fake Plastic Trees is such a beautiful, emotional ballad that just appreciates the beauty of silence. And then we have the legendary OK Computer in 1997, where, yes, it's still alt rock, but they take it to a whole different level of depression and sadness, where every single track is heartbreaking, just broken, dreary, and dejected, but yet they present different sad songs with different shades of sadness. And then in the year 2000, they have done the greatest left turn in musical history to make what is probably my favorite album of all time, Kid A, which is 10 tracks long, but each track is so different from one another. They're experimental, they're weird, they're freaky, they're anxiety-inducing, migraine-inducing, schizophrenic, but still absolutely beautiful and haunting. And then the year after, they released Amnesiac, which is similar to Kid A, and that is very versatile. Maybe the songs are not as great as that of Kid A's, but still really, really good. Tracks like Pyramid Song, as well as the album Ending, which is a jazzy rock track, is really special. The reversed migraine-inducing like spinning plates is a very creative and special moment. And then we have tracks like I Might Be Wrong, which is this deserty, chilled, icy banger of a track. And now we have Hail to the Thief 2 years later, and they are still pumping out amazing music. And Hail to the Thief. Judging by the album cover designed by Stanley Donwood, you know that this album is going to be so much more messy, and in a way it is, but also it doesn't bog down the experience for me. It's still a very versatile album, and yet every single track still feels very angry, and that this album is a very political album where Tom York, or actually the band members, they direct their anger towards the British government in the year 2003. And yet the songwriting is spot on, the production is incredibly creative and impressive. The verses and the melodies, the hooks, the bridges, they're all really catchy, but yet the chords, the piano chords, the guitar chords, how did they even write that? How did they even come up with these chord progressions? They are geniuses. Johnny Greenwood, Tom York, they are musical geniuses. I have no idea how did they come up with these chord progressions, but with the melodies alone, no one would be able to figure out how the chord progression would go, but yet they figured it out, and it sounds fantastic. And then we have the soundplay, the glitchy electronic noise, sometimes the raw organic guitars. It is amazing, and also every single track on this album has a second title, a subtitle, but we're going to be using the main titles. Starting off, we have the album opener, 2 + 2 = 5, and obviously this is a George Orwell reference of the political novel 1984. And nothing like a dystopian album opening. It's like a punch to the face, like we have just entered this broken, corrupted world where everything's just destroyed and the government is corrupted. And it's a really powerful feeling. Opening off, we have these bitter guitars and 7/8 time signature, these tapping electronic tones, these dreary chords, and they sort of build up to an explosive ending, which is just absolutely insane. Pay attention, pay attention. The second track is Sit Down, Stand Up, or Snakes and Ladders. And this is a really special track. We get these very bold and intoxicated, really toxic keyboards, and then at the same time these glitchy electronic tones, and then they sort of wiggle and climb their way up to the top. This is, again, the chord progressions that Radiohead comes up with. I have no idea how did they write these chord progressions, but it's just so weird, yet it's so fitting with the melodies. Walk into the jaws of hell, and it just becomes more and more loud and toxic and noisy and scary. It feels poisoned, it's angered, and then we have the beat that comes in halfway through, and then the song just explodes into this really weird repetitive thing, which may turn some people off, but I personally enjoy it really much, where Tom York just goes, the raindrops, the raindrops, the raindrops, and he sings it over and over again for 47 times. And again, it may turn some people off, but I think it's a really crazy ending, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. The third track is Sail to the Moon, and it's a slow piano ballad. It's very much like a lullaby, but a sour and dreary one at that. We get these very beautiful soft pianos that feel relaxing but also clouded. The chords on this thing, it sounds like two different chords, and they don't fit, but then when the vocals come in, they are like the perfect match. And again, the sour chords, it's just so dreary, yet it's so relaxing. These conflicting feelings is what really makes Radiohead's music so I don't know what's the word for it, compelling, enticing. Next up, we have Backdrifts, which is a really stiff and robotic and electronic heavy track, and I actually really love it as well. We get these warped whooshing sounds as the bass instrumental of the track, and then these clangy, scratchy electronic percussion. It's all very migraine inducing. It's almost annoying, but in a way it's musically gratifying as well for some reason. And then we get the towards the end of the track, again, explosive ending. You fell into bam 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 bam. These pianos, they just fit into this track like a glove. And I love how the melodies, they sound blissful at first. They sound like they're kind of upbeat and uplifting, and then at the same time you get these instrumentals just whooshing in the back, and it sounds like the song itself is trying so hard to break out of this noisy cycle, but yet it can't, and it's sort of stuck there, and it's so annoying, and it's about to explode. And just a really interesting sonic moment. Next up, we have Go to Sleep, which is a bluesy, country-esque guitars, where the guitars, they sort of swing around. And we have very abstract lyrics, and I speculate they're about ignorance, because the phrase, the refrain, "over my dead body," keeps on being repeated. Also at the end, "I'm gonna go to sleep," even though I don't want loonies to take over, I don't want this to take over, but I'm gonna go to sleep anyways and not care. What really impresses me on this track is the key change as well as the rhythm change towards the end. Actually, towards the halfway point, the whole thing just shifts, but yet it feels like a perfect second half for the song. I guess I should also mention this, but the tracks Sit Down, Stand Up actually remind me of waiting music, in that imagine you're in between two major chapters in a video game, or scenes in a video game, and in the middle it's buffering, and then this song starts playing and you see the loading screen. It's just so strange. It's like we're being locked into a pocket dimension of sorts, and it actually kind of reminds me of a Tree Fingers in that it also has the same effect. Also, Go to Sleep. It doesn't have that effect, but it still feels like something's wrong with reality. It's really interesting. Up next, we have Where I End and You Begin, and goddamn, this is a great track. One of the most underrated Radiohead songs, in my opinion. We get these vibrating, poisonous keyboards, very smooth, crispy drums. Phil Selway totally kills it on the groovy drums, and this track feels super smooth. It feels like one very straightforward, very smooth go with no pauses or stutters. And I also really like that, given how loud and noisy the instrumentals are, the vocals, they're more toned down. We have the line, Dinosaurs Roam the Earth, which calls back to the track Optimistic on Kid A, and also the ending of the track, I will eat you alive, I will eat you alive, I will eat you alive, I will eat you alive. Again, very haunted and scary and demonic. Also these scratchy guitars, it's all very angry, but yet it feels righteous. Up next, we have the track We Suck Young Blood, which, given the title, it's a very grotesque song. The lyrics, it's gross. You want to wash your ears after you listen to the lyrics. And then we get these very drunken, villainous pianos, and they're really slow and sluggish, but yet they feel ill. And then we get these hand claps on the track as well. And even though this track feels like one of the more sloggier tracks on the album, I still appreciate it for their creativity, how they want to experimental and make a song about sucking young blood. Next up, we have the Gloaming, which is I'm kind of on the fence with this track, in that in the live versions of this track, it's great, but the original studio version, it just doesn't quite hit it for me. I really like the fuzzy electronic sounds, the tips and taps, and also the very icy, chilled vocals. But in my opinion, the studio version is a little too spacey. In the live version, in between the verses, there is no chorus on this track. But in the live version, in between the verses, there would be keyboards that goes bum 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 bum, and it's so much more fun. But in the studio version, it's just a little too spacey for me. Still not a bad song at all. And then we have There. Oh my god, I love this track. In every single Radiohead album, there's always that one song that just pops out that everybody's talking about, and that is just fantastic from front to back. In Kid A, it's Idiotech, even though my personal favorite is How to Disappear Completely. And then in Amnesiac, it's Pyramid Song, and now we have There, and this song is golden. This song is pure gold. We get these ringing metallic hand drums, boom, bum, boom, bum, and the guitar chords on this thing. The guitar chords, the bass line, oh my gosh, they're golden. They are so beautiful. They're sweet, they're warm, yet a dash of melancholy, maybe a tinge of anxiety, just mixed together in a perfect ratio. And then we have the vocals, the chorus of the track. It's a really good line. It's a really, really good line, and given how abstract some of Radiohead's lyrics can be, this line is actually really straightforward, and it feels like it is a really important message for some reason. Just 'cause you feel it doesn't mean it's there. Just 'cause you feel it doesn't mean it's there. It's really, really beautiful. Again, warmth and sweetness, but at the same time, sadness as well. Ed O'Brien provides some backup vocals, which is really nice. And also the pre-ending, the bridge towards the ending. Why So Green, Why So Lonely. I don't understand it, but it's beautiful. And then we have an explosive ending that is just very cinematic and theatrical, and just one hell of a song. Just one hell of a song. Great music video as well. Radiohead does not disappoint with their music videos. Afterwards, we have I Will, which is this 2-minute long track that is very weepy, slow, dead in the inside, and it's actually the track Like Spinning Plates is basically a reversed demo version of I Will, and now we have I Will itself. And again, with the fuzzy vocals, the vocal harmonies, it's a very sad and lonesome song, but it still works. A, because it's not very long. B, it's the guitar chords, they're very beautiful, they're painful, they're tortured, yet they feel really real and grounded. And then we have A Punch Up at a Wedding, which is this is basically Tom York ranting, but the rant is translated into a slow, angry piano song. We get this very steady 4/4 drum beat, these sharp, slow pianos that are very sweet, and then we get Tom York saying no, 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 no for 42 times, and then we get the very groovy, slick bass line of the track, and it's just funny how angry of a song this is, yet it's such a slow and relaxed song. This song is about I don't know if it's inspired by a real event or not, probably so, given how not abstract the lyrics are, but someone basically crashed Tom York's wedding and started a fight. And it's a great song. It's a great song. Up next we have Mixomatosis, where we get these very nasty, dry, buzzy guitars that are just very wild, and then these very crunchy, groovy drums. Again, Phil Selway kills it once again. These toned down vocals by Tom York, and overall the track is very punchy. It's punchy, jumpy, bouncy, and also very catchy. The vocal layers towards the end, they feel very intoxicated. They feel very ill and sick and twisted and like insects buzzing. And also they were cheering and waving, twitching and salivate like Mixomatosis. And then we have the track Scatterbrain, which is the second last track. It's a pretty quiet, forlorn song. Again, it has the lullaby quality like Sail to the Moon, except it feels slower and more uneventful, so I'm not a huge fan of this track. I think this is easily the weakest track on the entire album. I like the fact that it's a little jazzy, but it still doesn't make up for the fact that it's one of the more uneventful tracks on the album. But the album ends off with A Wolf at the Door, which is just such a grim, depressing ending to the album. Again, Radiohead does not disappoint with their album endings. The dark, chilling, spine-chilling Street Spirits Fade Out, the very depressed, dreary sort of Ascend to Heaven of The Tourist, and then we have the even more Ascend to Heaven, to another plane of existence with motion picture soundtrack, the very confused yet lonely jazzy ending of Life in a Glass House, the very pained syncopated ending of Videotapes, True Love Waits, the Separator, and then this. A Wolf at the Door sounds like all the band members are like, fuck it, just screw it. The world is broken. The society, it's corrupted, it's burnt down, it's garbage. Fuck it, just screw it. This is what this track sounds like, because usually an album would end off with a very sad and beautiful and powerful ending, but this one is just, nope, just rotten, tortured, disgusting, gross, and dejected. And it's like they're embracing the reality. Like, yeah, actually the reality sucks and we're embracing it. This is what it is. But actually that is not entirely the attitude of the track, because then we get these very sweet and warm and beautiful chords in the middle of this track, and it sounds like they're trying to deny the reality. Like, actually, maybe the reality doesn't suck. I want to believe that there is still beauty left in this world. I want to believe that humanity still has hope, but at the very, very, very end, they just give up, and that just makes this track hurt even more. Again, the swingy drums, the low-pitched vocals where Tom York doesn't even sing, he just raps his way through this track. Get the eggs, get the flan in the face, get the flan in the face, the flan in the face. Dance you fucker, don't you dare, get the flan in the face. And yeah, very, very beautiful track, very impactful as well. Great chorus, and yeah, super underrated. Okay, so now I'm finished with the studio album. Now I'm gonna talk about the B-sides. So for the B-sides, we have a Calm Lag 2 + 2 = 5 EP, where there are a bunch of remixes, but also a bunch of B-sides. The first one being Paperbag Writer, which is absolutely underrated, and it is this very stripped back electronic heavy banger. We get these very disjointed, fragmented bass, the beats, and also these very sour strings that swell from time to time, and it's a banger. It's very danceable, it's very fun, it feels dangerous, it feels risky, yet it's simple, it's skeletal, and I really love that. The track I Am a Wicked Child, it's a country-esque song a la Go to Sleep, and it has these devilish lyrics as well as the raw organic instrumentals that I really like, but nonetheless it's still not one of the better Radiohead songs in my opinion. Not bad, but I won't say it's great. And same applies for the next track, I Am Citizen Insane, which is a very blissful, glitchy, electronic dance track, and it's just alright. I like the electronic tones of this track a lot, but it still doesn't quite hit the musical gratifying satisfaction that I get from listening to some of the tracks on the studio album. The track Gagging Order is not that great as well, even though it's a really nice, simple guitar ballad, and it sounds like a calm after the storm, like after a really intense cry or breakdown, and you calm down, and this song just starts playing. Fog Again is an absolutely beautiful piano track. It's actually a live version of the original Fog, which is in the Knives Out B-sides, and this is so beautiful. I wish Fog Again would replace Scatterbrain, because it's just so beautiful. The lyrics feel innocent, and the pianos, they're humble, they're sincere, they're heartfelt, they feel humane, and it's very powerful. And then we have the track Where the Bluebirds Fly, which is the first few seconds of the track is what they use before they come onto the stage when they tour Hail to the Thief at around 2003 and onward. And I really like the first few seconds of the track, the very pinchy, glitchy, schizophrenic electronic freak out. It's just really crazy and weird and experimental. But then the track is over 4 minutes long, and it feels very, very long. It's very deserty as well, very sour strings, and also Tom's vocals being buried by the strings. But still, nothing all that special. It doesn't quite live up to that glitchiness or craziness that I was hoping for when I listened to the first few seconds, but still not a terrible track by any means. So yeah, Radiohead, Hail to the Thief. It's a great album, what can I say? A lot of people dislike this album or think that this is one of the weaker albums in Radiohead's discography. But honestly, I think it's still really great. I love a good majority of the tracks, and not a single track here sucks, okay? Even if there are weak tracks, they're still okay on their own. So yeah, the soundplay, the chord progressions, the lyrics, the vocals, the production, they're amazing. Colin's bass, Johnny's production, Ed's backup vocals, Phil's drums, Tom's vocals, Nigel Godrich's production as well. Very amazing. My favorite track here is There, and my least favorite track is Scatterbrain. I am giving Radiohead's Hail to the Thief a strong 8 to a light 9 out of 10. So, have you listened to Hail to the Thief from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.